Yeah, good morning. Today we are going to discuss about the thermal processing in petroleum industry. So this thermal processing is also one of the part in petroleum production. When a hydrocarbon is heated to a sufficient high temperature, these thermal crackings are occurs. This is sometimes referred to as pyrolysis. Okay, especially when the coal is fed stock. So when the steam is used in this process, it is called as a steam cracking. So we will examine two thermal processes used in the refinery as visp breaking and delayed coking. Visp breaking is a mild form of thermal cracking that is lower the viscosity of heavy crude oil residue without affecting the boiling point range. And residue from the atmospheric distillation tower is heated up to 510 degrees in between 425 to 510 degrees centigrade at the atmospheric pressure and mildly cracked in a heater. So then it is quenched with cool gas oil to control the over cracking and flashed in a distillation water. So basically, this waste breaking is used to reduce the pour point of waxy residue and reduce the viscosity of residues used for blending with the light fuel oils. So middle distillates may also be produced depending on the product demand. And thermally cracked residue as a tar, which accumulate in the bottom of the fractionation tower. So is the vacuum flashed in a stripper and the distillated recycled. So by taking this visp cracking and thermally cracked residue, different tars and different light fuel oils and at middle point different petroleum products are produces from the thermal cracking process. Now, if you can see this block diagram, in this diagram, a soaker and quenching is connected across the fractionator, and from that cracked or visbreaken residues are produced by this process. So initially, whenever the feeds will be applied to the furnace, it is heated, and after the heated crude oil will be entered into the soaker. From that soaker, some quenching is applied. After that, the fractionated gas oil and cracked broken residues will be produced from the thermal cracking process. So this visp breaking alternatively we can use the vacuum residue that should be cracked up. Okay, so in this way, the visp breaking is depends on the temperature as well as reaction time. That reaction time is almost 1 to 8 minutes. Usually, whenever the 10% weight of gasoline and the light products are produced by this entire process. Now, if you can see this process, vacuum residues will give the 730 Kelvin at 20 bars of pressure. After the reactor, it is applied into the flash, and fractionator will giving the vacuum in the distillation process. So finally, cracked residue or heavy gas oils are released by the thermal cracking process. Then we go for the delayed coking. So this coking is a one of the method of thermal cracking. It is used to upgrade heavy residuals into light products or distillates. Coking produces the straight run gasoline or various middle distillate fractions. Okay, then it is also used as a catalytic cracking feedstock. So this process completely reduces the hydrogen so that the residue is a form of carbon, which is also called as a coke. Okay, by this coke processing, honeycomb cake, needle type coke, sponge coke, depends on the reaction of mechanism, time, temperature, and crude feedstock. These all types of cokes will be obtained. And the delayed coking is a heated charge is transferred to large coke drum, which provides a long residues time needed to allow the cracking reactions to proceed to the completion of the entire process. So heavy feedstock is fed to a fractionator as we have seen in the block diagram. In the bottom of the fractionator, it is fed to the Croker drum via furnace, where the hot material will be maintained at 440 to 500 degrees centigrade, and it is held approximately 24 hours delay at the pressure of 2 to 5 bars until it cracks into the light products. lighter products. So the vapors from the drums are returned to a fractionator, whereas gases, naphtha, and gas oils are separated from each other. The heavier hydrocarbons produced in the fractionator and recycled through the furnace. After that, the coke reaches to the predetermined level in the one drum. The flow is delivered to another drum to maintain the continuous operation. After the continuous operation of the full drum, it is steamed into the strip out uncracked hydrocarbons cooled by the water injection and then decoated by the mechanical or hydraulic methods. So the coke is mechanically removed by an auger rising from the bottom of the drum. Hydraulic decoking consists of the fracturing the coke and with high pressure water ejecting from the rotating cutter. So this is a block diagram of entire process of delayed coking, where 710 Kelvin to 2 bar pressure and up to 770 K. Up to this coke will be maintained. Again it will be entered into the fractionator. In the bottom of the fractionator, the gas oil strippers will be maintained, and in the middle place in the middle of the fractionator we will connect with the gas oils. At the top we have to take the condenser is connected across the different reflex drum. From that reflex drum we have to get that unstabilized naphtha. If it is required, that recycling process will be applied. So this is a delayed coking process. Okay, then next one is catalytic process. So which is also different types: fluid catalytic cracking, hydro treating, hydrocracking, catalytic reforming, and alkylation. Okay, catalytic cracking is a main incentive for the catalytic cracking is need to increase the gasoline production. Feedstocks are typically vacuum gas. That cracking is catalyzed by the solid acids which promote the rupture of carbon to carbon bonds, and the crucial intermediates are carbonations, positive charged, and formed by the action of the acid sites on the catalyst. So different beside this carbon to carbon cleavage, many other reactions are occurs: isomerization, protonation and deprotonation, alkylation and polymerization, and cyclination and condensation process will be taken. By this all the process, the catalytic cracking will be controlled. So the catalytic cracking is the one of the largest application of the catalyst. Worldwide cracking capacity is exceeds 500 million tons per annum. Okay, the formation of coke is also one of the essential feature. The cracking process, this coke deactivates the catalyst. Okay, fluid catalytic cracking is also explained. The catalytic cracking was the first large scale application for the fluidized beds. Nowadays, entertained flue reactors are used instead of fluidized beds, but the name FCC is still retained. Okay, in this fluid catalyzed cracking, the oil is cracked in the presence of finely divided catalyst, which is maintained in an iterated or fluidized state by the oil vapors. So the fluid crackers consists of the catalyst section and the fractionating section that operate together as an integrated processing units. Okay, so the preheated feed will be mixed with a hot regenerated catalyst and recycled steam vaporized and raised to reactor temperature up to 485 to 540 degrees centigrade. So this is a hot catalyst will be used here. As the mixer of travel up, which is 0.7 to 2 bars, will be used here. The modern FCC units are also maintained here to place in place of the reactor also. So the cracked product is then charged to the fractionation column, where it is separated into the fractions, and some of the heavy oils are recycled to the riser. So this process will be continue. That entire process will be maintained by this block diagram. Here regenerator will be placing here, and reactor separation vessels will be placing. The steam will be connected here. After that, that FCC will be give the fractionator. From that fractionator, a different type of gasoline, light oils, heavy oils will be produced from this distillation process. So the crude oil will be distillated and fractionated by the different type of FCC catalysts which are used here. Finally, we are getting the petroleum product as a gasoline, light oils and heavy oils. Okay, clarified slurries are also giving to the exit. by the slurry settlers. And the fluid catalyst catalytic cracking process will be like this. The main process areas will be regenerator, reactor, fractionator, absorber, and deprotonizer and deprotonation, which is used here. And propane processing and butane gases are also used in the proper way. So this is a one of the important process for the fluid catalytic cracking, and it is continued to the hydrotreating. Hydrotreating is also one of the important factor. Catalytic hydrotreating is a hydrogenation process which is used to remove the 90% of the contaminants such as nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen, and metals from the liquid petroleum fractions. So if these contaminants are not removed from the petroleum fractions, they can be have the detrimental effects on the equipment, catalysts, and quantity of the finished product. So we need to have a hydro treating process in the petroleum product. So by this petroleum product, clearly we can remove the 90% of the contaminations like nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen, and metals from the liquid petroleum fractions. So this hydro treating is done prior to process such as catalytic reforming, so that the catalyst is not contaminated by the untreated feedstock also. So in addition to hydro treating converts the olefins and aromatics to the saturated compounds. So this process will be discussed in the next class also. Okay.